Hey everybody. Okay, so I had an interesting discussion today, and I want to vlog about it. I want to get your opinions. First, I'm going to pose this question: what do you tell someone who asks you why feminine gay people are feminine? Okay, because I was asked that question today, and I'm just gonna give a little background. I'm not out at work per se. There are people at my job who know, but I've always been a professional type of person, so I'm not going to work telling everybody and running my rainbow flags to fall around. So I'm there to work, and that's what I do. And so people that know are people who are either on my Facebook or who I know. You know, I was approached by somebody, and I wasn't sure that they knew or not, and it really wasn't, you know, their business to know or not. But in the interest of all fairness, people do talk, and things could have gotten around. People could have realized something was up. I've been working there for almost 7 years now, so it could be, you know, it could be one of those things where, you know, it just came out and nobody cares and we all go about our business. So I wasn't expecting this person to know. So when she approached me and asked me this question about, her specific words were, are some gay people who are really feminine, are they that way because the majority of them were molested or something? And I think she was, God bless her soul, I think she was trying to find the right words to ask the specific question that she needed to ask. And I think I kind of understood what it was that she meant. But here's the thing, okay? I know a lot of people get all upset when straight females don't know anything about the gay lifestyle. And you can't really get upset by somebody in their ignorance, and that's why people ask questions, because they really are interested in knowing and understanding. And one thing that I've learned in my lifetime is that some stuff that you don't experience on your own, you will never understand. And I look at it like this. I consider myself gay, and I think I remember as far back as 6th grade of me being attracted to dudes, and because at least in 4th grade there was this one girl that I liked, and I don't really think that it was like you know, I think it was more like a crush thing. I think I enjoyed being around her, and it may actually be an attraction too. Though by now, and this was like that was what, 4th grade, so that was, God, forever ago. So I think by me coming from the path that I came from, I only understand my path, and because I understand my path, I can see how a full straight person may look at a girl, a straight dude may look at a girl and say, I'm attracted to her, but never look at a dude that way. Never. Now, for me, I can look at a girl and say, yeah, she's attractive. And I mean, some people will say, you know, if you can be attracted to girls, if you can be turned on by a girl, you know, then you may be bisexual. I don't claim bisexuality because I don't have any intentions of dating a girl, but I can see myself, if that was, you know, if somebody came along and really, you know, I can see myself doing that. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so anyway, so I can understand how a straight guy cannot see another guy attractive. I can picture that because it's kind of how I look at other things. But for a person, for that same straight guy or the same straight female who already has it in their head that gay is wrong or whatever they learn, to look at the gay thing is kind of hard for them, and they don't really understand, and that's probably why most of them hate. But they look at gay people liking gay people, and it catches them off guard because they don't understand. They've not experienced that, so they don't know. And some people act out, but this lady asked the question, and that was nice of her to ask the question, so I can't get mad at her. So I'm an average gay guy, and I read up on stuff. I'm open-minded, so I listen to a lot of gay-related topics and gay-centric stuff. And I've learned based off of what I read, what I hear, and experience. And so when she asked me, that question, first of all, I know already that a lot of the majority of the gay people that I know and have met in my lifetime were not gay because of molestation. And quite frankly, I don't believe that I've probably met any guy who claims that he was gay just because he was molested. And I think it's a different thing. I think if you were molested, either you already had gay tendencies, either you were already gay before, or you weren't. And if you weren't, I think that after the fact, you would still be straight. I don't think necessarily that being molested would turn you gay, if that makes sense. Unless you was already gay, of course. But I think sometimes people assume that because you molested, that that's all that you know. And that was one of my points to her, was that if somebody has been molested repeatedly, especially at a very young age, when they're children and they can't, like when they're children and they're very influential, and if this is what they experienced growing up, this is all they know. So by that point, yeah, they probably would have fell into the stereotype of, this is my place. I'm the female in this, and that's what I'm gonna be. Majority of the homosexuals that I met don't experience that, and I find that to be a rare situation. And so I told her, I said, scientists have studied this, and scientists continue to study it. Some people think that you just had more of one chromosome over the other, or whatever. And I told her, I said a good example that I have is, sometimes people say that a boy comes up gay because he doesn't have a father and he hangs around a lot of women. And I explained to her, I said, and you can easily prove that false, because there's a lot of straight guys out there, thug straight guys out there, who was raised by their mothers and didn't have fathers in their lives, and they became, they 100% straight. And she agreed with that. And then another point that I made to her was that it's a lot more than that. I think in some situations you can persuade a kid one way or the other. And I explained to her, I said, if you have a little boy, young boy, and I say young, I mean young enough to like 2, 3, 4, that age, like before grade school, and you say you catch him, experimenting, touching, because kids are curious, touching on another girl, and you discipline that child. No, you can't do that. You can't, because you don't want the child growing up just running around touching random titties and coochies and stuff. So you tell him, no, you can't do that. That's bad boy. Boys don't do that, or whatever, or however you phrase it. And so you may put it in that child's head that, okay, I'm not supposed to do that. And so they grow up hanging around with other boys, and that's really all they know, because you don't allow them to have their creativity. Now, she mentioned how people are more accepting now of masturbation and stuff, and exploring your own body, and how back in the day that was shunned upon, and that may have led people to not understand themselves, and it could have a lot of effects. And there's a lot of different psychiatric the word, I'm not sure. There's a lot of different things that can contribute to why a person may be gay or may not be gay, or why a person may be feminine or not feminine. it's hard, you know, being a gay guy and having to explain it, because it's kind of like people are who they are, and it's not always a reason why they are that way. Sometimes people are just flaming queens. Sometimes people are just so masculine, and you can find gay people out there who are extremely masculine, who you would never tell. You find the in-betweens, you know, the ones that walk the line. You find the ones that's over the top. And it's sometimes a person's personality may not always equal what their sexuality is, because there are a lot of feminine straight guys out there who are trying to the women, you know, and they just have feminine tendencies. So I think in my case, I've had my father in my life. My father's still in my life. Because I had both parents, and I grew up around younger brothers. I've been, you know, I'm the oldest, so I always was the mature one, the one looked after, the protector, that sort of stuff. So with that in mind, when I look back at where I came from, my father used to always tell me, you know, don't be a sissy, stand up, you know, look people in the eyes, shake their hand, firm handshakes, and don't cross your legs, and don't put your hands on your hips, and all that kind of stuff. And so I grew up not doing that stuff. Every now, well, I cross my legs now, and I put my hand on my hips every now and then. But it's just those little things that my father, you know, put in my brain growing up, that I was just raised that way. And so I can even consider that my father probably raised me to be a little bit more masculine than I probably would have otherwise. And so I don't doubt that there are some influences from how a child is raised into how they act per se. But I do think that we're never going to really find out why people are the way they are. We're going to have theories, and we're going to have, because science always works. Science never takes a break, and we're going to always trying to figure this stuff out. But I think for just our comfort now, we need to just understand that some things are just not always black or white. Some things have, everything has some kind of shade of gray. And I don't mind, you know, talking about gay issues to people who are uninformed and who actually are curious. I don't take don't take the disrespect, and I don't, you know, because I mean, there are lines. And I don't really like people gossiping and talking. And so as long as people in my job are not like running around, oh, James does that, because James is a good person, James is a good worker, and James don't go around and giving nobody no problem. So if you know, but it doesn't define who I am. So that kind of stuff, you know, no, we're not having that. But most people are respectful, and I think I built up a good respect thing. I respect you, you respect me. And then people just leave it alone. And so I don't mind. So in that case, I don't mind if people know or not, because, you know, I'm out to my family, I'm out to my friends, and you know, I'm not one to go over the top and be flamboyant and cussing everybody out and their mother and, you know, all that kind of stuff, because, you know, that's just not me. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but that's just not me. And so I don't mind sitting down and having a talk with somebody who's really curious about why gay people do this, why gay people do that, you know, just because it's helping educate. And if I can help educate one person, the person can turn around and spread that education to somebody else. You just ask them. Not everybody is flamboyant because they was raised by women. Not everybody was flamboyant because they were molested or anything. It's just one of those things that, you know, it's on a person by person basis. And the only way to truly understand why a person is the way they are is by asking that person. Because we can all, no matter how much we study, we're not gonna all figure out why certain people act one way or the other. Because, as I say, everybody is shades of gray. So that's all I really want to talk about. So if you have any thoughts, comments, leave it.